Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multverse, Justice League of America, JLA Batman. This is part of the collective build Plastic Man wave. Plastic Man looks fantastic, and this Batman is just some more reuse. I've been hunting and hunting and hunting for these things at Target, and I finally struck upon the mother lode today. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Batman, collector build Plastic Man. This is the second of 4 figures you need to build Plastic Man. Here he is in the package. He has a grappling launcher, 4 different pieces of Plastic Man, display stand, and a collector's card. This Batman is the Three Jokers Batman repainted in all black. One side of the package, Batman from JLA. Other side says Batman. At the bottom, there's this barcode, if that helps anybody. Can't help but notice it says DC Gaming Build a 7-inch figure, JLA Batman. There's nothing gamey about these guys. This entire wave says DC Gaming. Kind of odd. On the back, here's a picture of Plastic Man from the comics. Here's the piece you get with Batman. Here's instructions how to build Plastic Man. And here's the rest of the wave. So with no further ado, let's open them up. And here's this JLA Batman next to the Three Jokers Batman. Exact same figure, different paint job. And I did pick up the entire wave at Target. Now, weird thing is, the case had 6 figures, 3 of which were Batman, 1 was Superman, 1 was Aquaman, and 1 was Green Lantern. They were all the Platinum Chase variants. I imagine they're a little bit more common in this wave than some of the other waves we've gotten. They didn't have a single regular Superman, Aquaman, or Green Lantern, which is fine because my shipment is on its way from the McFarlane Toy Store, and I hope none are Platinums, and I can't believe I hear myself saying that. I hope none of them are Platinums. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. Here's a display stand, collector's card, 4 pieces of Plastic Man, and then a grappling launcher. No batarang. Not that it's a really big deal, I've got about 1 million of those things, but it would have been nice. Before I take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Batman, and it's supposed to be based off the JLA comics, Justice League of America. It's done with the Batman Three Jokers body, which when it first came out was so freaking awesome, but at this point feels a little bit dated. It's a really nice paint scheme, all black, the bright yellow belt, and oval around the bat symbol. Looks very Michael Keaton-esque from 1989. I do feel like it's maybe a little bit too bulky for what they were going for, but it does look good for what it is. I feel like the Batman from the Spawn and Batman 2-pack is pretty appropriate for JLA Batman, although his ears are too long. This one's ears are too short, etc., etc. Either way, I think this Batman actually looks better than I expected, because I was kind of like rolling my eyes. Oh, the Three Jokers Batman again. But in hand, I actually really like this guy. I always like sort of Keaton homage figures, and at least that's what I'm sort of treating this like. So let's take a look. The thing I don't like about this guy the most is the fact that the head and the neck is one solid piece. It really makes head swaps very difficult. He's got some texturing on the cowl there, short ears, wide eyes, stern expression, square jaw. As we go further down, bat symbol looks great. Yellow oval, black bat symbol, traditional. The belt just screams Michael Keaton. Look at that thing. It looks perfect. It has the little sort of capsules, the oval at the front, the long fins on his arms, the double-jointed elbows, the armored shins, double-jointed knees, the cape just sort of sitting there. It actually looks pretty good. He has that same sort of unique wrinkles in the texture on his stomach. So many things that just scream the Three Jokers body, but the paint scheme makes him visually very pleasing. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt, the mouth, the chin, it all looks great. The only thing that bothers me is the texture on the cowl, because it's not really consistent with the rest of the figure. It's not that big of a deal. I'd say with this shot it's a little bit more noticeable than it is in person. Still, it is a pretty good head for the most part. Just really wish the neck and head were separate pieces so you could head swap it with all your other Batman figures. Now check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane display stand. It's a black circle, it's thin, basic, but it gets the job done. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's Batman from the JLA comics. He's in a black suit, he's got the similar oval on the bat symbol. The ears look a little bit bigger. I don't know if the Three Jokers Batman was the best body to use for this particular version of Batman. I do actually like the release, but I don't think it's a good version of the JLA Batman. Maybe I'm wrong. In my collection, I'm just going to sort of treat this as a Keaton-esque version of the Three Jokers Batman. And it can fill in for this. Like I said, it just seems a little bit too big and bulky, but not by much. I could totally see what they're going for, and they probably could have used like a blue wash or some shading on the figure. You can see Aquaman and Wonder Woman in the background. Batman from JLA. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now let's check out the Plastic Man pieces. We have 2 stretched out arms, a regular head, and then a stretched out head. That gives you a couple different options for Plastic Man. You can have him in action poses with the stretch pieces, and you can have him normal with the regular head and the regular arms. Now, if you really wanted to, you could actually build Plastic Man without buying Aquaman. He comes with the regular arms. If you didn't buy Batman, you would have all the parts of Plastic Man except for the head. That's included here. And actually, one really cool thing that I realized is if you buy the entire wave and you get all the Platinum Chase figures, you can actually build Plastic Man 2 times. You'll have the stretch out version and the regular version, and I can only imagine that was intentional by McFarlane for completists like myself. Because Batman doesn't have a Platinum Chase, he has both the heads and allows you to make Plastic Man twice. So as soon as my regular wave arrives, I'll have a second version of Plastic Man. I think that's really cool. If you buy the entire wave, you get to collect to build Plastic Man. Plastic Man is a member of the Justice League of America. He's typically a B or C lister in my book, although he was quite a bit more prominent in JLA. And here's Plastic Man with the alternate stretched out arms and head attached. Now you really need both looks for Plastic Man. You need him to have his regular sort of look when he's walking around and interacting with the Justice League, and then you need him to have some stretched out pieces when he's in action poses or fighting with the team. So I actually handled this guy pretty well. He's underwhelming for a Build-A-Figure in his regular mode, but the fact that you have a couple different options makes up for that. Now we have his grappling launcher. This is the only accessory that's actually intended for Batman. The grappling launcher, it looks fine. You can see where it's going to hold it. Handles maybe a little bit big. This is presumably where the line wraps up, and then the line is coming out. Now, I'm really not a fan of this type of grappling launcher. The main reason is, if they could just simply make this line here peggable, have a little peg and the grappling launcher and a little hole here, and you could attach it and remove it at will, then it would be perfect. But the way it is, the line is so short, it's like in the middle of shooting it. It's really not very useful for action poses because it just doesn't look good. And I would rather him be able to just have the grapple part, hold that, and then you could attach the line as if he's grappling. One tiny change like that would really sort of elevate this to the next level. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to use his grappling launcher. Now I wanted to look at the differences and reuse between this JLA Batman and the original Three Jokers Batman figure. And besides the obvious paint differences, it's 100% same figure, same sculpt, same articulation. So let's take a look. So their heads here, pretty much exactly the same. They're both with a black cowl. Same with the cape, exact same sculpt. Go further down, everything on him that's gray is pure black on him, and the yellow is quite a bit sort of brighter on this guy than on this guy. Beyond that, it's exactly the same, but just the yellow and the black really pops on this guy, and it gives me Michael Keaton vibes, and I love it. McFarlane has actually released this exact same figure 3 different times. Different paint jobs. We have the Three Jokers Batman on the left, the JLA Batman in the middle, and the Batman Family 5-pack on the right. And then the Collector's Edition Batman as Green Lantern also utilizes the same body with a different head sculpt and a completely different paint job. So they've definitely used this body to death. And I don't hate the body, but it's a little bit bigger than most of the figures in the line, so I feel like it should be about 0.2 inches shorter. But I do like my Batman to be big, bulky, bruiser character, intimidating, etc. And here's this Three Jokers Batman next to the Hush Batman, and they share some parts, but not the entire body. So they have the same stomach area, but a different torso. They have a different head. They have the same sort of shoulders and biceps, but different forearm. They have the same upper part of the legs, but different lower part of the legs, different cape, etc. Now, this Hush Batman has been used many a time. We have the Hush Batman, Two-Face's Batman, the Spawn versus Batman 2-pack, the Vampire Batman, etc. And they share about half the parts with the Three Jokers Batman. I actually think this Batman vs. Spawn 2-pack Batman, the body makes me feel like JLA a little bit more than this guy. I like this Three Jokers Batman. He seems like a Michael Keaton sort of homage version. But I feel like this guy's body screams the JLA comic a little bit more. But not his head, not his face. First of all, I hate that expression with his mouth open, and the ears are really long. Kind of makes me think Kelly Jones or Legends of the Dark Knight. Kind of wonder how he looked with this Three Jokers Batman head on. Let's take a look, find out. And not exactly what I was thinking in my head, but it looks fairly close. Now, the little points on his cape, his shoulders, that screams Legends of the Dark Knight, and he had that sometimes on and off in JLA, but I'd probably try to find a cape a little bit more plain. Color scheme, it looks about exactly what I was thinking from the JLA comics. Another thing I wanted to mention, and I'm not sure how I didn't see this before, upon first glance, this Batman looks like he's in a totally black suit with yellow belt and bat signal. But it's not quite that simple. I don't see how I didn't notice it before, but in full light, look at his cowl. It's sort of black on the side, has blue shading kind of going across it. You see a little bit of blue in the cape here, and on his gauntlets. A lot of time in these type of comics, like the 90s, etc., Batman is drawn with a totally black suit, but has sort of blue shading, and they did a semi-decent job capturing it here. I didn't even notice it at first, but when you look at it, it's kind of cool. Definitely screams 90s comics Batman. Now that I'm taking a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now for his height. He's a big boy, from bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.4 inches tall, which can translate to just under 19 centimeters. If you go to the top of the ears, about 7.5 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head, like I said before, head and neck, one solid piece. At the bottom, can rotate side to side. He can look up and down about that far, pretty good. Tilt his head from one side to the other. Considering the way they designed the head, it has a pretty good range of motion. Shoulders and a ball joint goes up a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increasing the range of motion and covering the large gap that would be there. Bicep cut, double jointed elbows, his wrist can rotate, and it is also hinged. There it is. Double ball joints in his torso. The torso, a little tight, rotate around, forward and back, barely at all. His waist can do a lot more. Rotate around, forward and back quite a bit. Between the two, he moves decent. Legs, complete as splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation, minimal, but there. Legs go forward about that far, go to the side, they go up a little bit more. They go back about that far. Double jointed knees below that. And then his ankle, forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock, and of course, articulation. Here's a look at Batman on a rooftop, GCPD headquarters, watching over Gotham. Here's Batman in the shadows, and then Batman using his grapnel launcher, going into the night. Here's the main team of 7 JLA, Justice League of America members from the JLA comic. We have Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Carl Rayner Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Aquaman, and Wally West Flash. Here's Batman on top of a rooftop overlooking Gotham City. And here's Batman sitting in the Batcave at the Batcomputer. And then driving the White Knight Batcycle toward Arkham Asylum. And here's Batman on the rooftop of GCPD headquarters, meeting up with Gordon. He's informing him about the Three Jokers threat. And here's Batman getting cornered by the Three Jokers in front of their base. And the Bat family versus the Three Jokers, evening the odds. Here's Batman fighting Bane in the city streets of Gotham. Then, Batman and Robin taking on Deathstroke in a dojo. Here's Batman fighting Croc in the sewers. And then, taking down Professor Pig and a bunch of his Dolatrons. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures, starting off with some other McFarlane Batman figures. Of course, here he is, next to all 3 figures that use the exact same Three Jokers body and head. And as you know, these 2 figures use the Three Jokers body with a different head sculpt. Now let's check him out, next to some other McFarlane DC Multverse Batman figures. Here he is, next to several older McFarlane Batman figures. These are all from the comics. And you can see he's on the larger end of things, about the same size as the Dark Knight's Metal Batman on the far left. Then, with some more McFarlane Batman figures, these are a little bit more recent releases, and these are also all from the comics. And now, with some more McFarlane Batman figures, these are from different various forms of media. Here are the best versions of each of the 7 main characters from Morrison's JLA run. Martian Manhunter, Wally West Flash, Batman, Mullet Superman, Wonder Woman, Hook Aquaman, and Kyle Rayner. Now it's interesting, the figures they chose to release in the wave. I totally understand why I have red and blue Superman, but John Stewart, Kyle Rayner seems more appropriate. Plastic Man also is a pretty prominent member of the Justice League during this run, but these are the main 7 in the looks from that run, for the most part. Now check them out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multverse figures. Here he is with the rest of his wave. The JLA wave, Collector Build Plastic Man. We have Red Superman, Black Suit Batman, Plastic Man, Hook Aquaman, and John Stewart Green Lantern. Now Superman, Aquaman, and Green Lantern are all Platinum Chase variants. That's what I found at Target. My regular version shipped from the McFarlane toy store a long time ago. They should have arrived yesterday. They didn't arrive today either. Hopefully they'll arrive tomorrow, but tracking is leaving a lot for the imagination, let's just say. Here's this Batman, next to the Target exclusive Cassandra Cain Batgirl and Rival. And here he is, next to the most recent Batman wave. We have Azrael from Night's End, both the red and the platinum blue variant. Then we have the black and gray version of the Nightfall Batman, and the first appearance Detective Comics 27 Batman, both the regular and platinum variants. Then, next to the digital wave, the DC Rebirth Batman, Silver Age Hal Jordan Green Lantern, and the DC Classics Aquaman. And now, with the Amazon exclusive, Kilowog and Kyle Rayner Green Lantern 2-pack, here's Batman, next to the Walmart exclusive, DC vs. Vampires Nightwing, and Wally West Flash. And here he is, next to the Entertainment Earth exclusive, Curse of the White Knight Sketch Azrael, and the Amazon exclusive Glow in the Dark Parallax Hal Jordan. Then, with the GameStop exclusive, DC Rebirth Frostbite Batman, and the Arkham Knight Batman in its prestige suit. And finally, next to the Crisis on Infinite Earths wave, Collective Build Monitor, we have Earth 2 Superman, Spectre, both the regular and the Green Lantern Platinum Chase variant, then Monitor, Psycho Pirate, and Kid Flash. Now let's check them out. Next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Since we already checked him out next to a bunch of other McFarlane DC Multverse Batman figures, here he is next to some more McFarlane toys. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane toys, all 7-inch scale, and now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some DST or Diamond Select toys, here's Batman next to the battery compartment off the thermostat off my wall, and here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA Batman figures, then with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures, and now, with some Mezco and Mattel Batman figures, next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends, and finally, next to some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a pretty cool Batman figure. Yes, he's down on the 3 Jokers body, which has been used a little bit much and is a little bit dated at this point, a little bit too big and bulky, but I really like the way it looks. When I first saw this figure shown online, I was like, more of the same. But in hand, I like him a lot more than I anticipated. The black costume and the yellow belt, yellow bat symbol, it just really screams Michael Keaton. But there's a lot more layers to this figure. The blue shading is very subtle. I didn't even notice it at first. But it also looks really cool. That's just sort of an extra bonus. And it's very reminiscent of how they draw Batman a lot of time. A black suit with sort of blue shading on the sides. And it's so subtle that it doesn't look weird, it doesn't look bad, it's barely noticeable when you see it. It's actually pretty cool. His accessory, the grapple gun, nothing special there, more of the same, and it could be a lot better. His sculpted paint job, excellent, no issues there, although the texture on the cowl just seems a little inconsistent with the rest of the suit. His articulation is everything you expect from a McFarlane DC Multverse figure, except maybe the ankle joints being the balls a little bit outdated. If I were to rate this figure, I'd probably give him a 6.5 out of 10, as is. Maybe even a 7. I actually really like the way the figure looks. He has that Keaton look to him, but the blue shading has really sort of made me like him even more. So, as sort of a Keaton-esque Batman, I'd give him a 7. And the blue shading, I like it. It's very reminiscent of the comics of that era. I'm going to give him a 7.5. And I'm really surprised to give him such a high rating, considering he's on the body that's too big, and it's kind of outdated, and it's kind of lazy reuse. But in hand, I like him way more than I expected. And that's really all you can ask for with these kind of figures. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.